Welcome to LC Screen Talk. My name is Larry, and this is my review of Fences. So Fences was one of my most anticipated films for the month of December. It looked absolutely amazing, especially that first trailer just blew my mind. It was so good, and I love Denzel Washington, and I love Viola Davis, so clearly I was pumped to see Fences. Plus, it's kind of like an obligation when you're trying to cover the award season because it's right in the thick of things and has a good chance of at least scoring several nominations and possibly some wins. So, in the end, did Fences live up to all of the hype? I would say yes. I really enjoyed the film. I don't think it's quite Best Picture quality, but it's still very strong. And the biggest strength this film has going for it is the acting cast. They are spectacular. And in a film like Fences, that's actually a very good strength to have. So this is a smaller movie that completely lives or dies on the interactions between the different characters. Do we believe their chemistry? Do we believe the dialogue? Do we believe that these are people? In every single case, the answer is yes, yes, yes. So Denzel Washington is so good in this movie. I think he was really fantastic. And he really portrayed a character that had you kind of swaying in and out of, do I like you? Do I hate you? Do I understand where you're coming from? Are you being unreasonable? So basically, he was a real human being here. And then we go over to Viola Davis, and I just mean, come on. I'm telling you now, I'll probably scream at my TV if Viola Davis does not win for Best Supporting Actress. She was amazing in this film. Stole the show, kind of amazing. And she stole the show from Denzel Washington putting in an amazing performance himself. Viola Davis put in a subdued, subtle performance for so much of this film and only amps up to that amazing emotion we know she has inside of her when it was needed. I think she expertly acted this role. I can't imagine anybody else even touching what she was able to do here. This legitimately felt like I was watching her as a woman walking around this house. I mean, she really did just transcend the role. It was really a feat to watch. I think this is one of the best acting performances of the year. I'm pretty much speechless at how good Viola Davis was in this movie. I also think most all of the background actors were good. They all brought something to the film. They all, again, felt believable. Even some of the characters have different types of disabilities or different problems going on, and I thought they sold it. I just smiled every time Denzel's brother came onto the screen. That brought in some of the sweetest moments in the film and really kind of helped you understand Denzel's character a little bit more and sympathize with him a little bit. But I also think that the script was really, really strong. This dialogue all felt very authentic. I think that that's the second strongest aspect to the movie, is that it had a very strong, real script. The dialogue was wonderful. I do have some problems with the structuring within the film, and part of that has to do with the script as well. But this is adapted from the stage, and I think they did a great job of actually adapting that screenplay. And I also love the complexity of the messages here. I think you're going to come out of this movie able to feel a lot of different kind of ways, and you'll be able to interpret what the messages were here, what they were trying to say, what we were getting across very differently. I think you'll have a bunch of different theories on what was happening. You'll have a bunch of different interpretations of what was going on the screen. For me, I think it was a great example of nature versus nurture and how that plays a role in how you grow up. I think it also really showed, especially in this time frame, how difficult it is for young minorities, young black people in the 50s and the 40s to break a cycle. First of all, just getting beaten down your whole life, what that does to your mental state and your ability to see past the survive mode of life, to see past the here and now into the future, to see how these families, even now, so many families have to do this, but they have to put the right now over hopes and dreams for the future, even for their children. They value work now, help pay the bills at this moment, more than things like education or college or prospects. And it really demonstrates in such a graceful way how institutionalized racism from so long ago is still finding its way through the ranks that are still present right now, because they're hard to break. It's hard to get out of these cycles. Even when you think you are running so far from your past, a lot of times you're still repeating those same cycles because that's what you knew, even when it's subconscious. And of course, it just exemplified what women had to go through, you know. Even when your husband did terrible things to you and treated you like garbage, just thinking about, especially, you know, black women in the 50s, who's going to hire you? What kind of job are you going to get? What experience do you have? What qualifications do you have? You have no home, you have no money, so what are you going to do? And this was the case for women across all different races, but in this context especially for black women. So what aspects of the film did I not love as much? I mentioned earlier that it is adapted from a play, and unfortunately I think Denzel Washington in his directing didn't differentiate it enough from a play. The staging, the lighting, even the camera angles all felt like a stage play, and it all kept it feeling really small. Denzel didn't do enough to make this a cinematic experience. It still felt like we were looking at a stage, just filming it on camera instead of having a live audience. And I think that does the film such a huge disservice. I also think that the structure of the story robs the viewers a little bit of full development here. We take these big jumps in time that I really wish we hadn't even taken. And they're taken to jump forward so far, or we have these montages that push us forward so far, we're left feeling like we missed out. We missed out on a bunch of experiences, on a bunch of conversations, on a bunch of interactions that were worthy of seeing. And in an intimate, interaction, dialogue-driven film like this, I think it's important to really flesh out all of the moments. I wanted to spend more time in that house. I wanted to spend more time when we're in these uncomfortable situations, instead of kind of grazing past them to the next big moment. Like, I think the entire first act of this film is near flawless. Yes, it does feel like a stage play, but we're just getting to spend time with these people and just experience them as humans and let the script and let the actors make magic. And as the movie goes along, we get less of that. We get more of just big moments. We get more of a keystone here and a keystone here, instead of letting the movie just breathe and letting the biggest strengths shine through. So ultimately, I still think Fences is definitely one of the top 20 films of the year. I don't know exactly where it's going to land there for me personally, but I definitely think this is worth a full price ticket. I think it's strong enough on pretty much every level that you will get something out of this. You'll leave feeling, and I think that's what this kind of cinema is really supposed to do. And if for nothing else, pay full price to see the masterclass in acting that you'll get from both Denzel and especially Viola Davis. So, that has been my review of Fences. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you did, go ahead, click like down below, and subscribe to the channel so you are always up to date on our latest videos. Also, join in on the discussion. Are you excited to see Fences? And what is your favorite stage to screen adaptation? Let me know either in the comment section down below or hit me up on Twitter. I love you all so much for your support. Mwah! Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!